Hi guys, this is Sambo from Fluid Social, and today I want to follow up on a recent topic that I covered, which a lot of you guys really resonated with, which was about saying what you mean. And in the video I discussed why often it's more powerful to just ask the question, why, than to say, oh, why is that the case? Is it because this, this, and this? And then rambling a little bit afterwards. Sometimes the power is held in you saying exactly what you mean, just asking the question straight up, and authentically saying what it is that you want to say. So in this follow-up video, I want to talk about the importance of being comfortable in positions of conflict. Now, what do I mean by conflict? I don't mean you causing problems or you being a dick or trying to conform to that stereotype of the bad boy, because there's some big misunderstandings about this. When you see that, bad boy figure that you've seen throughout life and you're thinking, why does he get women and I don't, when I'm kind of genuine, nice, I have a lot of value to offer? Often it's not that that guy is mean and that's why he gets women. It's that he very early on demonstrates that he's comfortable in positions of conflict, whether that's calling the woman out or calling another guy in the group out in front of the woman. It's not that he's being mean that makes him attractive. Is that he's comfortable in that position of heightened tension and heightened conflict, that she knows that that man would be able to deal with a potential conflict involving her and her potential children in the future. If some dangerous situation arrives, the guy that can put himself out there and cause that bit of conflict and tension, it shows that he's comfortable in positions of danger and conflict, which means that it ensures her safety and the safety of her potential children in the future. So I'm going to talk to you guys about some ways that you can demonstrate that you're comfortable in positions of conflict very easily in an interaction in the day. And I want to stress that this is one of those cases where, just as it's important for you guys to be demonstrating that you're comfortable with conflict, it's actually important for her to be demonstrating the same things. Because even if you're talking to a woman and she seems very attractive, but she agrees with everything you say, and there's no sense of her trying to test you or understand you a bit better, you start to get a bit suspicious of how many other guys she's been like this with. So for the girls watching this, and I know about 3 or 4% of my subscriber base is female, the same rules apply to you. The two examples that I want to go through today are, firstly, discomfort at the beginning of the interaction. So sometimes, particularly for the guys, but also for women, if you do meet someone new in the day, a stranger in the day, you approach them, there can be that sense of uncomfortability where they're thinking, have you done this a lot? This is weird, this isn't normal. And the way I want you guys to deal with this, any conflict at the start of the interaction, is to say, listen, I know this seems a little unusual, but to be honest, I really don't like meeting people over social media. I don't use Tinder, and for me it feels much more natural and authentic to meet someone in real life. You're not a Tinder girl, are you? So you can actually put that test at the end saying, you're not one of those social media guys or girls. This is what I like. I like authentic connection with someone in the day. I don't like social media. You're not one of those social media people, are you? Now, the importance of this is that you're reframing what you're doing not as weird and unusual and embarrassing, but you're framing it as strong, authentic, honest, and real. And in so doing, it's very unlikely that the person you're talking to is going to say, no, actually, I think it's much more normal to meet people over Tinder or over Instagram or over Facebook. What you're doing is you're making it very easy for them to agree with you and actually validate what you're doing, validate the action, so you get them on side, and you create what I call the we frame, the frame where it's both of you on the same team, fighting for the same cause, rather than that sort of you trying to win her over or her trying to win you over. You form a we frame where it's the both of you together fighting on the same team, and everyone else can use their Tinder and use their social media to meet, but fuck it, you guys are going to meet in real life because that's what you believe is real. So first example, at the start of the interaction, embrace that discomfort and just say, listen, I find it much more natural to meet people in real life. I don't like Tinder. You're not a Tinder girl, are you? The second example might come a little bit later in the interaction, maybe where you're talking about how you spend your time, what you do for work, or how you like to spend your days. And this comes from an example of a girl that I met in Chelsea a couple of months ago. And I was talking to her and I got a really strong sense that she's a creative girl. She was colourfully dressed, she had a cool, wacky hairstyle, And she seemed really cool and creative. And I asked her what she did for work, and she said she was a programmer. And I looked at her and I said, why? And she said, because I like it, it's what I'm passionate about. And I looked her in the eye and I said, but you seem like such a creative person. I get such a strong creative energy from you. How do you manage to spend 8 hours a day behind a desk doing repetitive tasks when you clearly have so much creative energy? And that question took her aback. It made her really think. And what we got into a conversation about was her creative outlets. So she told me that she did a lot of drawing when she went home, that she was interested in music development and creation and production. And so instead of just saying, oh, do you like music? I'd actually prize this information about her by asking her why she spends the time in her day the way she does. So again, it's this conflict. It's saying, you seem like this sort of a girl. How do you manage to do such a potentially boring job from my perspective when you seem like someone that would enjoy such a creative and extroverted lifestyle? And it really got to that deep connection phase where we were talking about some really interesting things, creative expression and all of this, through what your idea of her was versus the reality of what she did. So in both of these examples, both of these situations, you're inviting conflict into the conversation. The first one, you're challenging social media and you're challenging her if that's the way that she does like to meet people. In the second one, you're asking her why she does the job she does, because you get the impression that she's such a creative person, so there's a little compliment in there. How does she manage to spend so much time of her day stuck behind a desk doing robotic tasks? Really, really deep questions to be asking a girl in the early interaction. Now I want to talk about a little bit about, actually from an evolutionary perspective, why this is important. So if you're having one of those kind of wishy-washy interactions where she says she's a programmer and instead of asking that question, you're like, oh, well, you must be really passionate about computers and programming, and you're kind of trying to agree with her, it's boring. She'll sense that something's suspicious, and the same for the girls watching this. You're going to seem suspicious to a guy if you're just agreeing with everything he says and you're making it too easy. Everyone needs to feel like there's some chase involved, like they have to earn the respect of the person they're talking to. And demonstrating that you're comfortable in a position of conflict when it's coming from a place of authenticity, when you authentically want to know the answer, but you're inviting conflict into the interaction, that's what's going to make earning the other person's kind of respect so much more valuable, and it's going to create a much better connection between you. So remember those two examples. I don't want you guys to go out and use exactly what I've just said. Take the principles of them. So they're honest, they're creative, they're probing. You're actually probing who the person is to find the answer. So take these principles, think of your own examples that are real in your life and they're relevant to you, and use these principles to construct your own questions and comments that invite conflict into the interaction. So, as I've mentioned in a couple of videos, I'm going to be in Rio de Janeiro from the 17th of September. Until that point, I want to see as many of you guys as possible. I really, really want your feedback. I want to get to know some of you guys who haven't had the chance of actually meeting up with me and getting to know me on a personal basis. For the guys of you that have, if you want an extra helping hand, then reach out to me before I go, because that's really it. After the 17th of September, I'm probably not going to be back here for 6 months or so. So I'm doing big discounts on my website on coaching until that point. It's going to be 50% off my regular programs, focusing on 1 day long, 5-hour daytime approach coaching and dealing with any of your obstacles that you're having in terms of meeting people in the day. And then I'm going to be doing these 4-day weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Fixed price, £1,000. Again, the link below, click there and it's going to take you straight to a contact form. Just put the subject line of what you're interested in and then get in touch with me and I'll get back to you the same day. I really want to see as many of you guys as possible and answer all of your questions before I do go to Rio. Once I'm in Rio, it's going to be the same system. I'm going to be doing these 4-day weekends. And so if you are interested in traveling, then do come out there and visit me. And I'm going to show you an entirely different lifestyle, an entirely different social environment with more of a focus on the social networking side. But I hope you guys take a lot from this video. Some of the information I've discussed is actually going to be included in a product that I'm doing with Kezia Noble. Some of you will be familiar with her. She's built an enormously successful business over the last 11 years, and I have a great deal of respect for her because I see the lives that she's changing every day, and it's been a massive inspiration to me in developing this channel. And so the product that I'm doing with her is gonna be £40. It's gonna come out around mid-September. So if you guys have any questions about that, I just want to kind of open your eyes to the fact that that's in development, and that's kind of the reason why you haven't seen as much content from me over the last couple of months. I've been working really hard on condensing some of this information into packages that I can give to all of you guys. So again, I really appreciate the support, and I look forward to hearing from any of you who want to work with me in London or Rio de Janeiro. So thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.